I want to share with you a non-political message about politics and investing. It used to be that companies would do those things that would maximize benefits to the people who own the company, the shareholders. They would do things that would potentially or hopefully increase the profits of the company that would drive the value of the shares up. Now, there are many companies that are talking not about shareholder activities, but stakeholder activities. Stakeholders are employees. They're shareholders, but they're also employees, customers, and the whole world at large. Now, for those companies, it's not about maximizing profits and maximizing the value of the shares, but serving what they identify as the greater good. So when you hear about stakeholders, that's what they mean. They're focusing on people other than the people who own shares. Now, these companies take actions that sometimes hurt their own company's ability to make profits. Now, for some people, that's great as long as the company's definition of greater good aligns with their own. But for other people, it's a problem. For example, when you invested, you might have invested because you wanted to grow your wealth, not because you wanted to make a political statement. Other people do want to make political statements with their investments, not everybody. The problem is actually worse a little bit now because some mutual funds are focusing on stakeholders instead of shareholders. And that means that they're using your money that you've invested to forward their own political goals. And that means that your financial goals are secondary to their political goals. So you may not really like that. I know I don't. Here's what you can do about it. Two things. Number one, you can invest in smaller mutual funds and smaller index funds and ETF providers. Why? Because they own a smaller percentage of large corporations. So they can't force their political agenda on the companies that they buy shares in. And number two, you can look at the top holdings of some of these large mutual funds that are focusing on stakeholder values. You can buy one share in each of those companies, and then you'll have the right to participate in the investor calls, which take place every quarter. And you have a right to be on those calls, and you should make your voice heard. If you don't think that pushing forward stakeholder interests above shareholder interests is important to you, you have to voice your concerns. Even if you agree with the stakeholder activism now, you may not want to let corporations get involved in this because you never know when you are going to have a different view or a different definition of the greater good as compared to what those companies think. So my advice is to get involved and make your voice heard. Thanks.